Good starting combo. Let's kick it off officially. Good morning. Welcome to the Options Income Launchpad Wednesday Market Midpoint. My name is Scott. I will be your host. As always, let me remind you, what we do is for education and illustrative purposes only. Nothing is intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any security or financial product because we're not brokers or advisors. Therefore, don't give any kind of personalized investment advice. Decisions made should be done so at your own risk. Yada, yada, yada. What are we going to do today is the question. Today, we are going to look at the opening analysis. Futures were slightly up when I looked. We're going to look at what's changed or is shifting in our posture that we need to reflect on and decide, is that getting stronger, weaker, or staying approximately the same? What else? Open trades. Steven took some profits on some. There's some available. There's some that are still moving. There's some that are shutting up. So depending on what stage the trade is in, that's your mindset. Hey, Vladimir, good to see you. We'll look at setups and we'll talk about this week's trading plan and we'll see where it puts us. Let's go. Let's get into it. Futures. Ooh, we just took a little dip. An abrupt dip. Okay, I see why. Private employers unexpectedly shed jobs in November. So I was like, earlier when I first woke up, I saw green. You can see. It's always interesting when this happens. If you look here at these charts on the right, all of them were in the green and then just sort of fell off a cliff. That's how you know you're looking for some news. Right there, you can see it. All of them did it. Boom. 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 Russell's only one hanging on to a little bit of positivity. 0.11 up. The NASDAQ is now down 0.5%. It was up and then just boom, fell off the cliff. 0.17 on the Dow, 0.23 down on the NASDAQ. So when we see that, we're like, oh, something happened. What happened? Well, we look at the economic calendar. And it reported 8:15. Is that right? I thought it showed up 6:15. Maybe so. Let me pull up the futures. And let's pop into, and there it is, 8:15. So I think I checked it a little early here. Didn't look, and then boom, boom. This is the impact right here. This swath here of that negative report that happened across the board. So we got shook a little bit. Now we were at 47, hoping to get 40, and not only did we miss expectations, but we went negative, and that's the fear, right? Is we went to a minus 32,000 jobs, not 40,000 we added. We lost 32,000 private jobs. Now, again, the ADP number is typically seen as the less reliable of the two numbers, and we rely more on BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics. For Department of Labor for non-farm payrolls. we haven't seen or heard much of anything from the government. John Welsh says Microsoft warns of lower AI expectations. It's such an AI is so interesting, right? Because number one, it's better AI, but everything that we have, we've had, right? It's like chatbots are nothing new. Some of these things are nothing new, but the sophistication of the models have gone parabolic in the way people are developing them, the way they're developing chips in order to make them faster, smarter. And it's funny because you're like, oh, AI is going to cost 5 million jobs over the next X number of years. But then I read things that talk about, corporate America is really struggling to effectively, it's almost just kind of like a parlor trick. It's like, oh, well, I can have my AI do that. And it's AI sit, AI stand. Everyone look at my AI standing. It's not actively, raising productivity levels the way that they were thinking. It's actually, there's a struggle to implement it. That's that on a corporate level. So it's pervasive. It's going to be there. I think every business will have some element of it. Just because the more data we produce, the faster we can get at processing that data, utilizing machine learning. And I think that's clearly the way things are going. And, there will come a time where every business has some element of AI, even if it's just them paying $30 a month for some subscription that it does, it's like, oh, that's AI. I think there's time. I mean, I think there's a little bit of a, this urgency necessarily that I don't think is there. But AI is the same as any computer, rubbish in, rubbish out. Absolutely, right. And you can't just rely that some Yahoo's like, oh, I'll put a prompt in and it'll spit this answer out. Well, how do you know that answer is right? And you're comfortable putting it out there, right? That, so anyways, Steven says, I guess the Fed will solidify the interest rate cut with the jobs report inflation data. Well, the robust GDP is not helpful. Remember that, right? The Fed really, you had the first two jobs report inflation. Yes. GDP is very secondary if even a consideration to the Fed. They've got two core objectives. Jobs up, interest down, interest rates down, inflation down. Inflation was in check and jobs are down. I agree with you, Stephen. I agree with you. Let's go see. We're a week away. A week from this afternoon will be 7 days, 4 hours, 30 minutes. And yeah, I mean, it really is about the same. It's jumped from a week ago at 83. Now it's at 88. I think it's clear. I agree with you that this dropping jobs number helps push them that way. So the data that we got, now we still have one more to go. And that's Friday. On Friday we get PCE. So let me highlight here. PCE is, now this is September. It's December 5th, and we're going to get September's PCE data. So the Fed is sort of just navigating a bit blind right now. But the expectation is that the PCE index will be flat at 0.3 year over year, flat at 2.9. Core, flat at 0.2. Core PCE year over year, up a tick from 2.7 to 2.8, with inflation sitting in the high twos. Now, the high twos is certainly nowhere near the target. If they got it down to 2.5, And after 2.5, like if it was like, oh, it went from 2.9 to 2.7 to 2.6 to 2.5, then they might think, okay, that's on its way. We're good. We're going to let it continue down. But I think you're right. For me, the PCE is, or as long as the inflation is stable, no big jumps, even a little jump, a tick or two would be fine. But with that weakened private payrolls numbers, then I think it's going to help push the Fed in that direction. I've been looking forward, and you can see we are getting jobless claims. Last week we got it. This week we're looking to get it. It's at 220. It's a pretty reasonable level. Until we see a few weeks in a row above 250K weekly jobless claims, I don't end up thinking that we're going to be shedding jobs from the Department of Labor numbers. But I don't see where they're even announcing the next time. We're not getting a November report. We didn't get an October report, and we didn't even get a September report. We haven't seen any of those numbers. We are hoping to get a delayed job openings report for October next week at 7.2 million. It's a decent number. I mean, it's really, it can drop. That number can drop below 4 or 5 million in certain times. So, okay. If done correctly, AI can be a very profitable asset. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, it can be. But as of yet, I don't feel like there's tons of jobs being lost due to AI. I just don't see it. I see struggles in that integration to some extent. Like it's helpful. It can make a person more productive, but it doesn't seem like it's replacing people yet. I mean, is it eventually going to have that? Maybe. Maybe so. Okay. Good chat. I think we have a good sense. Let's go look at things. With every innovative development, there's always fear attached. Agreed? Agreed. I mean, think back, when we talk about the tech bubble in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, that was the .com, right? That's 20, 25, 30 years ago, the .com market. Stamps.com, toys.com, blah, blah. It was just like all these .com sites or stocks. You don't see that anymore. But you see every single business with a web presence. I mean, that's what it brought in, right? Was the internet, the web as we know it, of everyone having an online site of information coming via the internet. And so this is really just the next iteration of that, where it's how are we processing all? There's a lot of data out there now. How are we processing it? What are we doing to process that data now that we have these internet? And it's a funny thing. Some people hate it. I don't mind. I love that I'm tracked by social media and stuff. And they're like, oh, we know what you're looking at. Great. Yeah. Show me the right ads. Show me this stuff. There's so many times where I'm on Facebook and I see some cool thing where I'm like, oh, I needed to see that. I don't mind. You can know what I'm doing to make it easier to tell me all the right things I should be buying for my lifestyle. Love it. MSFT. So it did gap down a little bit today. That was some news, huh? Because it seems like the earnings were back here. A little bit. You can see it had the same thing. A little gap there. It kept going. Popped up. Little gap down. Yeah, Microsoft is definitely struggling. Looks like this wants to head on back to some old levels. I agree with that. Let's take a look at the SPY. So it's flat. We gapped down, but held. The first candle was a little wild. Now we're starting to move back up. Well, give it some time. Let's let the first 20 minutes come in. Let's let the first 20 minutes come in. Get what that data means to us. And then we will go from there. Okay. Okay. Let me take a look at the VIX before we leave. Yeah, look, I mean, as I look at this, we had this move, nice little pop up. We seem to be in a, could be a consolidation, could be a flag. It could be that we need a little bit more of a pullback, but it could be that we just sort of grind it out and then right, like over here, and then start moving again. So, you know, this doesn't necessarily indicate things are coming down. It means we're overbought. Overbought means more buyers, that there's been more buyers than sellers. So we'll see. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about a pullback, but this could be just a basic pause. So, okay, let me see. I'm trying to find my watch list. Watching Credo on the pullback, love it, right? We start looking at these pullbacks thinking, what's this going to bring my way? Who's coming on down? Come on down. Let's go through our list. Apple, still pushing, still a little bit of momentum there. AMKR, same thing. Neither of those are tradable. You can see Amazon rolling over. Amazon broke this consolidation if you were waiting for it. Some people traded it, I know. But we got this. The buyers, they did enough. Now what? Now I'm thinking anywhere this pulls back is going to be a higher low, and that is going to be tradable, but not yet. APH pulling back, same thing. ASX waiting for the same thing. AVGO already happening, already made the move. The problem with this one, I would be licking my chops right now at this. The only problem is what? I just don't have a lot of time before earnings, right? I just don't have a lot of time for that right now. AA, Alcoa, let's take a look. Ooh, and you can see this. Some people would look at this and say that flag broke and would be looking for more. This thing is definitely trying to move. Yeah, I think there's momentum there. Let's see, where were we? AXP. So AXP was one that I said I'm looking at. A little bit of this pattern here. Here's the consolidation. Now what? Now I'm looking to see, does this thing pop out? AXP looks all right to me. BAC, kind of similar. Citigroup, those three all are very similar. Caterpillar, no. Caterpillar looks like it did break the consolidation here. Now what? Now if I get a higher low out here, now there's a trade setting up. Great. Patience. Let it come. CIN, same thing. CLS. Already in this position, right? The support level held, it bounced, took out the consolidation. Now I'm looking for this thing. If this can stabilize and turn, bada boom, bada bing. Higher low, ready to go. Coherent, good move, starting to pull back. As Steven said, there was profits that could be taken yesterday. For some of these that had made these types of move, that's what we're thinking. Then what? Then we're thinking now it moves into a consolidation where our next opportunity lies. We sit back, we wait, it comes. Credo, like David said. Boom, got the move. Earnings came, looked good. Now what? I've got this whole area in here. It could pull back a little bit. That's a trade. It could pull back more than that. That's a trade. I'm just going to watch. When the sellers dissipate and then it looks like the buyers are going to come in, we should have an opportunity. It's just a matter of waiting for it to come to us. Oh, Cisco. Now, is Cisco like, oh, Cisco's wrong? No, I mean, my support level's here. I was looking for this to be the turn. Gave me a nice little hick. And then today is pausing a little bit. Okay. It's letting us know that we're there. Now, if you did not take it, you could take it now and get a much better price. You could wait for it to come back up. We got in here, basically, at the end of the day when it took out the prior day's high. Well, you could wait for the same thing now. You're just waiting, but you could also miss something like that tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen. So if you're in it and you're seeing a little bit of a red, yeah, that's ready to go. Let's keep going here. Delta. Delta looks great. Okay, the Dow today showing some strength. There's a bit of defensiveness that kind of manifests when we see the Dow holding up and other things not. There is a bit of concern that we see in that regard, but let's keep an eye on it. Fox up 70 cents today, so Fox looking okay. We talked about that as a continuation, like out of a hiccup. The signal came over here, then it had a little hiccup, and then it's taking off now. So that's the kind of thing we talked about. If it doesn't break support, doesn't mean the trade is wrong. First Solar, oh, it's coming. First Solar is giving me a little above the 50 cup and handle, which I don't mind at all. As long as we find support at a higher low, I think, I have a good chance of breaking the cup and getting up to the next level. Waiting for that. That's on my list. GE, no. GE is in consolidation. I'm not looking to catch any lows there at this point. Gold moving up a bit today. General Motors. I actually replaced Ford with GM. Looks great. Had a good bounce. Now they're just waiting for the next opportunity to materialize. Google, as I said, Google is a market leader. Communication services is a sector that seems to be pushing to resurge. This is a leader in that effort. I think that this one looks quite strong. Definitely looking for a trade to show up on here. Goldman. Looks good. On a pullback. Same kind of a thing. One of these. We'll see. I like Goldman. I like AXP. I like BAC. I like MS. A few financials that are leaders that look still good. GTX. Nothing there. Howmet. Oh, Howmet. You're about to get booted. Our industrials. We may need to do an industrials search. Seems like we're not seeing the same level of quality that we've had. Breaking the 50, breaking the old low. Definitely concerning there. IBM. It's choppy, right? Since earnings. Gap down, then ran. Then it just kind of chopped around up here. Dropped, bounced off the 50. Didn't get back to the old highs. Starting to pull back. I mean, if it comes down here and turns, I would be like, you know what? Maybe we have a temporary target at that first level. And then it can then try to move into a new trend. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Intel overextended. IWM. Yeah, IWM is up 0.5%. Looks fine. Actually, it's more up than the Dow. That's surprising to some extent, actually. JCI. Okay, so we talked about a hiccup. Is the hiccup still on? Yes. As long as this hiccup doesn't break, if we see an inside day tomorrow and then it bounce, take out this low or this high, I would say that it's a whole new valid signal. Somebody who is in this would maybe still be in it 4 days later, 5 days later without any prospects, but hoping it can turn around. But this I would actually say that looks quite viable to me. Okay, here's a new one to the list, Johnson & Johnson. I added Johnson & Johnson and Eli Lilly to my lists. Johnson & Johnson's in a flag. It's towards the upper end of it. But I would say no broken flag yet. Lumentum pulling back, maybe setting up a new trade here. This is a high flyer. High volatility. It's not for the faint of heart. Okay. Eli Lilly. Ooh, Eli Lilly. It's $1,000 stock. It's $1,000 stock, so the options are going to be expensive. This might be one. A lot of times when we see things $700-800 or more, it makes it hard to find tradable options. Which means what? Well, we'll maybe go and look at a spread trade on this if it turns around. And don't forget, so we have Johnson & Johnson, we have Eli Lilly. What's the last one that we could look to trade? XLV, which is a composite representation. And you can see this one actually setting up quite well. So I haven't done one for a while on an ETF, but I am certainly not opposed. And I would say that this XLP looks quite enticing right off the bat. So, okay, where were we? Lamb Research, waiting for a pullback. Macy's earnings came this morning. They were supposed to make 9 cents. They actually lost 12. Gap down, but has already recovered most of it. I don't know. That's an interesting one. I think that either way, we're overextended on this bullish move from here to here. The thought would be, does it pull back and give us something? So, yeah, let's watch and see. There's no need for us to try to jump into earnings because it just reported earnings. Let's let the market process it. MasterCard, nothing there yet. Meta. So Meta, some people are like, Scott, it's under the 50, it's under the 100, it's under the 200. I don't care. Meta has taken the first steps. Boom. The buyer's making a little bit of a smash and grab. Now what? Now the sellers will have the ability. And if the sellers push it down and it only drops down, if it doesn't drop below 600 and then it turns, then my thought is, hey, this thing has a great chance of making a move now back up into this area. And then from there, it would have a good chance of getting back into this area. And then from there, back into this area. And we can start to see like, hey, how will this thing move back into a trend and get back, into the land of living. I think that's helpful in context of what we're seeing by way of the market moving. Okay. Morgan Stanley. Overextended. Microsoft. Gap down, as David said. Micron, yes. There's the window. Give me something that pulls back and bounces inside of that higher low window, and we're in business. Netflix. No. Look at Netflix also getting bashed today. Down 5.5%. Woo. With maybe there is some news. The split has not been helpful yet. We're lower post-split than we were. Nvidia. Nothing there yet. For me. NXT, no. PLTR. I don't know. I guess I'm a maybe. I mean, technically, I could draw a consolidation line like that. Technically, it's made this move. There was no, real volume associated in that. But if it pulls back to 160 and gives a higher low, that's kind of a sneaky reversal. It's like, oh, well, look what happened. And you're like, okay, maybe then. Maybe. Here's the Qs. The Qs look good. Technology has made this bump. I think we'll see. We'll go through the sectors to see something similar for communication services, for financials possibly trying to do this, consumer discretionary trying to do this. The real still holding up at this. Whenever I see big candles, I'll sometimes cut them in half like that, and you can see it's holding that level. I'm gonna give it a little bit. I'm gonna give it another couple of days to see if this thing can bounce out of here and give me something else. It was a little bit of a disappointing bounce. It didn't give much. But we'll see what happens there. Still have time. Roku. No. Ross Stores, just waiting for a pullback. RTX, no. Silver, little bit overextended. SanDisk, struggling. You can see it's barely hanging on to this level right now. So let's just kind of watch this one and see. Snowflake reports today after the market closes. SoFi overextended, need a little pullback there. SPY, as we've said, we've said let's wait for 20 minutes to see. All right, we did. We're 25 minutes in. How's the opening range look? Flat. We've tried. We tried to break out here and fold back. We tried to break out here, pulled back. Then the sellers pushed and rolled it over, and the sellers pushed down to here, and it came back. So as of right now, the bodies of our opening range are holding up. This seems to be what's important. Are we going to close above this? Then I'm looking for a run back maybe to at least this area here. Or does it fail and does it close below this way? In which case, I think, who knows? Farther back. We'd have to go farther back than this chart. We're already kind of pushing these lows here. Back down towards, let's say, 677.5 or so. So, yeah, I'm going to say we're somewhat on the fence still. Day traders, nothing there to sink your teeth into yet. That's for sure. That is for sure. Okay. STX. So STX has rolled over. So these data storage are high flyers, but they're starting to chop around a little bit. So let's make sure we still like what we see by the time a signal sets up. Teradyne is the same. Little overextended. You can see made a good move though. And now what? Now we're waiting to see what comes next. TJX, very close to a setup. This is another one that I think is right on my list. I would love to see a trade develop here. I'd love to see a trade develop in Google. I would love to see one develop in maybe a financials. Yes, Gabe, there is, and I'm going to make a note to myself. Don't do it until later today, and I will get it fully updated with some of the most recent things. Update watch list. I made a note to myself, which means there's now a 50-50 chance it happens. Let me show you where we're going here. Perfect time to ask that question. If you look here under alerts and resources, you have group downloads. And under group downloads here, you have current group watch list. You also have it here under links. Now, if I click on that, and then I click on this doc right here. Boom. Bam. Ooh, I need to adjust the logo too. I've still got our old logo up there. Oh, it's been a while since it's been updated. That's horrible, Scott. That's so embarrassing. Oh, sorry guys. That's on me. The fundamental list is still pretty similar, but there's, yeah, thank you, Gabe. Thanks for embarrassing me, Gabe, calling me out, letting it known that it's been a while since I put that on there. No, I own it. That's on me. My bad. My bad. Maybe I should put Glenn in charge of the watch list. Okay. TJ, also, by the way, everybody, did you see that there's a setup developing in TJX? We should probably talk about that. That's really what we should be talking about, is this developing setup. Higher high, pulling back, not much selling pressure. There's something developing here. Let's not think about outdated watch lists. That's not going to help us for the time being. Let's talk about potential trades. That's better. Less embarrassing. Okay. Watch list. I'm gonna put I've got a highlighter. I'm going to highlight this so it's like, do it, Scott. Do it. Okay, here we go. Tesla. Nah. I mean, it's back up. Like if you like it, wait for the pullback. There's something maybe there. TSM waiting for the pullback. Bullish dollar index has pulled back a little bit. Here's today's VIX. So here's the thing, right? I mean, we do look like we're testing a low, and that from this point, we think that there is a very good chance. Why can't I get my drawing tools? Oh, they are there already. We got lower than this, but not lower than this, so we're kind of in that that spot. But this is a great spot, in my opinion, for where we pop up, don't get back above 20. Maybe it tests at one point, something like that, and just sort of meanders a little bit and then rolls over. Yeah, that's quite bullish. That's a great lower high. That would improve our score. Nothing here is changing. Nothing here is changing our score. We didn't get a lower low or a lower high this week. Last week we did. We actually scored it already. But just the fact that we're sitting at 16 and a half, 1673, that's quite a strong place for the VIX to be. Not a lot of fear on right now. Goodness. Wayfair got beat up yesterday and getting more today. This is going to find itself getting kicked off my watch list. So what is my consumer discretionary stock that I'm leaning towards right now? TJX. Definitely TJX. Vladimir, good to see you. AMD. He said, take a look. AMD. Yeah. An argument could be made that this consolidation, not a huge break, not a lot of volume with it. So this would be something I would characterize as a sneaky reversal. But if this thing pulls back here and it gives me a higher low, hovering around that 50, I would say it's viable. And it's got a nice couple of levels. So I would say there's my first target there. Doop, 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 doop. There's my second target there. Back to old eyes. Yeah, I could see that developing 100%. Let's see. Where were we? Wayfair got beat up. WBD, a little bit of a pause. Still looks fine. I'm going to let it go a little longer and see. WDC rolling over. I like this one. WDC setting up for something over here. Walmart. Oh, look at Walmart. Walmart's looking pretty good today. Looking good overall. It's showing some strength. Steven said, I had a very lucky over-the-counter trade. Bought at 4 cents, 125,000 shares. Ooh, penny stocks. All right. Love it. Is valued at almost 30 cents today. Made 1,000, getting money back and profit. You may find yourself perusing OTCs, the pink sheets and the OTCs for some penny stocks. It's the same appeal as options, right? Anything, I would even say low price stocks, right? Anything under like $3 to $5 even. You can find, I had a couple that ended up on our watch list recently. So interesting. Keep us posted on that one. And then how did you find it? Where did that come from? Out of curiosity. XLB. Let's look at the XLs. XLB. Pausing a little bit here. Communication services. So again, what are we looking for? Communication services gave us this. Hoping for that little pullback. Who do we think is going to lead this? Up 90% in Walmart, 10% today. Nice. Love it, John. Love it. We're hoping for this, and we're hoping Google leads the way. So that looks good. That looks helpful for our sector rotation. Energy. Energy is holding up at these levels. Financials. Financials, same kind of a thing. We had this almost a V shape, then the flag, and it's trying to break that. Yeah, this looks good. I like what I see for financials. Industrials, trying as well. And I think we need to search through. So it's great to see risk on sectors like what we just looked at, all showing these types of patterns where they're fighting to get back above the 50, fighting to reverse these current downward consolidations. Tech, same thing. We're seeing the same thing. Boom, boom, boom. Now what? XLP. Staples has a little bit of momentum. We got to keep an eye on that. Utilities is kind of stable. Healthcare on the list. Healthcare is on the list. If it sits like this and then the next day gives me one of these and it turns, that's viable, right? And I'd be thinking, oh, maybe this thing can get up to 165. We've got this stop loss down below. Should have 2.5, 3 to 1 potential on something like that. And if not, we'll look at J&J, Eli Lilly as a potential there as well. Citi could make a new high today. Yeah, let's go look. XLY. Consumer discretionary. Another almost full V. That's quite a strong picture right there. A full V. That's a nice recovery. We like that. We definitely like that. I think there's hope. There's hope for us. In that regard. Okay. Well, let's see. Oh, Cisco's gotten back a good chunk, back where we were. Good to see that. Yeah, Citi's pushing. Bank of America. Ooh, I got to tell you, that AXP, that's pushing to break the flag right there. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, Google still just kind of lurking, saying, hey, there could be a trade here. Today, maybe tomorrow. So it's holding up. From a posture standpoint, I think it's showing stability. It's not really looking a lot better, not looking any worse. So we have stability. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think the probabilities or the possibility for a trade alert 50-50 for today. If not today, tomorrow, unless we see the market really start to fundamentally shift. But as of right now, I think things look all right. So there it is. Questions, comments, or concerns? Let's start there. And then let's just pop over and remind you that we are working on the trading plan. We're working on record keeping, and next week is analytics, which means what? Which means record keeping is here on the trade log. This is where I put down the things that I want to track. What's the symbol? What's the system? What type of trade? Was I long or short? When did I do it? How much did I pay? How many contracts or shares if you want to get the stock log? Then I have exit 1 here, exit 2 here. If you want to track commission there. Lastly, if you want to make any journal notes, this is your journal. Trade comments is your anything. I even put it in there. Anything about the trade you may want to reference down the road when analyzing. Once you get the record keeping done, you get all this automatically. You get all this dashboard of How often are you trading? How often are you right? How often are you wrong? What's your winning percentage? What's your losing percentage? What do you make when you're right? What do you lose when you're wrong? What's your reward to risk ratio? Trade. Oh, David, you've reached the crux of it, man. He said, when doing day trades, trading log is difficult, doing 10 trades a day. Is there any way to automate it? Not this log. There are some sites or logs that do have an ability to like connect with the broker, but no matter what you do, like think about this. If I have a system that I've devised, let's say I have a breakout system and a bounce system. Well, when I log a trade, I'm going to want to denote that. So my system here, I might say that's a breakout, that's a bounce, this is discretionary, this is the Trading Pirates booty newsletter. I don't know, right? If you subscribe to a system, then you're paying somebody for alerts. Then you want to track when you take a trade from them. You want to track it so that eventually you could be like, you know what? I want to. It's been 6 months that I've been working with the Trading Pirates booty newsletter. I'm going to see how well, and you get to look at just those trades. How many are right? How many are wrong? Is it a winning system or a losing system? And so the hard thing is that no matter what you do, you're going to have to code. Even if you were to have something download, you would still have to go back in and be like, I need to make sure that my record keeping system knows this is a bounce trade or a breakout trade or you know what system it is, because then I can isolate. Right? If this is a trading business, every system is a potential product. Right? If I had a candy store, I'm not going to sell 4 different types of candy and not know what my margins are on each one. Where I'm like, hey, you know what? I don't make a lot of money on these 4-inch jawbreakers, but it gets people in the door. Great. It serves a purpose. So that might be your hedges. You might, and yes, I track my hedge trades differently so that I can go back at the end of a year and be like, how many times did I hedge and what happened? Because if I go back and I look at my hedges and they broke even, but I made money, then I'll be like, hey, that did well. I got free insurance. If I made money on my hedges, even better. Now, if I lost money on my hedges, I better have had a really strong year to offset that, to say I had to pay for insurance a few times, right? And so it's important that we see how a system fits into the overall trading. So long story short, no, there's no way to automatically do it. There are ways to speed up and automate some pieces, but no matter what, there's going to be some measure where we have to do something. And it just gives us more insight overall, I would say. So there you go. Okay. Steven says, yes, I do that with some of my systems to track to see if they're worth staying with. Yeah, and not necessarily staying with, but change. Do I need to improve the system? If so, how? What needs to happen? The numbers are so valuable. So I get it. I get it. I wish there were easier, faster ways, and that's a dilemma. So anyway, all right. Well, good day, good morning, good to see everybody. Schedule. Glenn will be here tomorrow morning. We'll both be here tomorrow night. Everything's normal on Friday, so yeah, let's see if the market can hold up, turn into a bullish afternoon, and another signal comes our way. It's good to see everybody. How's the neck? Oh, it's better and better. Like this morning, I'm like, oh, I sat up without a lot of, but it's itching. Like I want to scratch I don't get the stitches out for another week. And I'm like, that seems long. It's pulling, it's itching. I want to scratch the hell out of it. Anyways, that's the healing part. It's driving me insane. Don't scratch it. It still has a bandage on it, but anyway. All right. It's great to see you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. As always, happy trading.